how the Chiefs made the Super Bowl. Now, technically, this journey of achieving a three-peat started 2 seasons ago when they beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl to win the first of what was going to be back-to-back Super Bowl championships. That season proved that the best team won. Last season, however, the Chiefs played really poorly in the regular season, or at least not up to the level we had been used to seeing. But then, of course, this season, the Chiefs resorted back to their championship ways, winning a ton of games, finishing the season 15-2. Now, that came off the heels of really no particular incredible performance. They didn't blow a single team out. The largest lead they had in a single game over an opponent was just 2 scores. Nothing was that large. I mean, they played and were competitive in every single one of the games they had, except the last game of the season where they rested all their starters, which if they played it, they probably could have won that game, but they lost 38-0. It didn't matter. But the point being is that the Chiefs played close every game of the season. Whether it was Banner Night Week 1 where they won because tight end of Baltimore, Isaiah Likely's toe was out of bounds, or Week 2 against the Bengals where a key pass interference call led to the Chiefs winning the game. Or you could go to Week 10 where the Chiefs blocked a would-be go-ahead walk-off field goal by Denver to win them the game. Or Week 13 where the Raiders goofed on offense and basically handed the Chiefs a victory by an offensive snap problem. Point being is the Chiefs won every game they really needed to. The only game they lost in the regular season was to the Bills, but luckily they got revenge for that in the playoffs, and they pretty much advanced to the Super Bowl without much of a challenge in any game. They dominated every single one. Now, sure, this Chiefs team had some low over the seasons as well. 2 crucial injuries. First, an LCL tear by wide receiver Rashee Rice puts him out for the season. That was earlier in the season. And Week 2, Isaiah Pacheco, running back, went down with a torn fibula, where he returned roughly 10 weeks later, but really has never looked the same since. Now, the positives for the Chiefs was that in his place, Kareem Hunt has looked very good after signing to the practice squad off of the Browns practice squad, and he's been the starter and looked pretty good since, as well as trading for DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver. He has looked decent in his Kansas City tenure so far, and now for the Super Bowl, they have Hollywood Brown back, who made his, I believe, season debut against the Texans 2 games ago after dealing with injuries throughout the season. So the Chiefs have a good amount of options going into the Super Bowl. They still have Travis Kelce, who again had another subpar regular season, but in the playoffs turns it up when he needs to, unless if he's getting triple teamed, which might happen in this game, but really the Chiefs are able to do what they need to do at every step of the way, and they look to continue that trend going into this one, especially by having the best head coach in football, Andy Reid, who happens to also be the best offensive mind in football and best play caller in football. You also have one of the best quarterbacks in football, Patrick Mahomes, who again, kind of like Jalen Hurts, had a little bit of a statistical decline in this season, but really he's still as good as ever and always MVP caliber, and he'll need to put the cape on again in this game, but really he is still as good as it gets. Never, ever think against Patrick Mahomes and what he is able to do. Now, really the only blemish of this Kansas City offense is their 2 tackles. One is Jawan Taylor, the other I believe now is DJ Humphries. They've been some of the worst tackles in football. Now, the interior offensive line, center Creed Humphrey, left guard Joe Thuney, and right guard Trey Smith have been very solid, but their tackles have struggled, so much so that in one game this season against the Raiders, they actually had to put Joe Thuney, all-pro left guard, out to tackle to take care of business there, simply because of them getting beat so badly. So if there's only one hole on this Kansas City Chiefs offense, it is those tackles. Defensively, they're still as good as they've been the past couple of years under defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. Again, Chris Jones won first-team All-Pro. He's been as dominant and a game wrecker as ever. Really the key to that defense. And they're very smart, too, good at disguising everything. But other than that, they just have guys who play well and do their job. None of them are really first-team All-Pro or second-team All-Pro. They just play really good as a unit and get the job done and dial up the perfect blitzes when they need to win the game. That's what this Chiefs team does. They win the game, and they end out on top. They've been the blueprint for success the past couple years, especially because they've won back-to-back Super Bowls, and look for them to try to continue as much as what they've been doing in this game to really get the three-peat that is so hard to do in professional sports. But with that being said, do you think the Chiefs have what it takes to win 3 Super Bowls in a row and beat the Philadelphia Eagles for a second time in 3 years in the Super Bowl? Or do you think they don't have it? Let me know in the comments what you think, and as always, like and follow for more.